In this Hubnut video, a Berlingo. We're quite used to Berlingos. What's special about this one? It's electric. Ooh. Yes, PSA, the company that owned Peugeot and Citroën, first of all had an electric 106 in 1995, and they followed that up in 1998 with an electric Berlingo. A Berlingo you could buy that runs on batteries in 1998. They ended production in 2005. But of course, the interesting thing is you can get an electric Berlingo today, no problem at all. Electric has become the norm. Back then, not so much. Today I've jumped out of a Hyundai Ioniq 5, so it'll be interesting to compare with this little pioneering electric van. So let's just talk the headline figures. Firstly, this company no longer exists. It's been bought out by another company. My friend has two of their vans, and he's been able to mix and match battery packs to make them work. Obviously, you can imagine bits are a little hard to find. They never sold very many here. They were quite expensive. But it's got a 16.2 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's nickel cadmium, not lithium ion, and has a range of about 60 miles on a good day if you're driving fairly gently. Actually, the S on this number plate suggests this is an early first half of 1999 Berlingo, so that's quite early for an electric. They were only introduced the year before. But here's what we find under the bonnet. All very different to a standard Berlingo. We've still got a radiator. This is split down the middle. Half of it circulates around the batteries to keep them at a sensible temperature. Half of it around the charger and everything under here. So this is your charger. The motor is underneath this battery pack. And this is how you add distilled water to the batteries, which you must do every few thousand miles. Basically, you fill it up with distilled water until it falls out the bottom, apparently. I've got a Webasto heater. It's actually got a petrol heater. So this is an electric car. You still need to fill up with petrol. And you do that in the conventional way. Just a little 8-litre fuel tank under the regular fuel flap. Here's your PowerPoint we'll get to in a moment. We've got hydraulic power steering with electric motor and a vacuum pump to do your braking. And I believe this is the coolant for your Webasto heater and into the heater motor down there. So all very different. And apparently the motor's quite clever. It's a brushed motor. So brushes can wear out and be a wear point. But the drive shaft apparently goes right through it. It's a hollow motor. So the longest drive shaft goes right through. So it's still got an equal length drive shafts. So we've got an extra little flap down here, and that opens the charge door here. And the way it works is you slot the charger in, and it then sticks out this little flap at the bottom, and charging won't start until you close this again. And then when it's closed and you've got your flap hanging out, then it will actually charge the batteries. And it's quite happy to do so off a 13 amp supply. And that will take probably about 8 hours to charge up the battery pack. This one's not at 100%, but otherwise it's standard Berlingo, unless you look underneath, because the battery packs are actually under the car. It adds about 500 kilos. So there's a main battery pack down there at the front, well, in the middle, and then another smaller one here at the back. Otherwise we've got the clever Citroën suspension that's entirely under the floor, torsion bar with these sort of 45-degree dampers, so you get plenty of load space and very, very little intrusion from suspension, just the wheel arch. Very clever. And they also seem to have this plastic bulkhead, which is quite an interesting feature. But plenty of space back here, nice cage to protect the driver. Passenger got a fend for themselves, and the front seat folds down to make a seat. So moving aboard, we clamber in. It's all very Berlingo until you look at the controls here. So on the right we've got the battery health, on the left speedometer, which optimistically goes up to 70, but 60 is about all she's good for, and even then your controller's getting quite hot above 50, so a 50-mile-an-hour cruise is probably sensible. Look at this posh radio with your liquid crystal display. Although, like our Berlingo, it appears to have two stereos. They actually had two stereo slots. An aftermarket one has been added. That would be an oddment tray more normally. Here's your gear selector. It's just used as a regular vehicle, so I'm afraid it's no show pony. But we got park, reverse, neutral and drive, but there's only one gear, one reduction gear. The motor's bolted directly to it, and then drive goes out to the wheels. I've got heater controls, just conventional, and it just works as you need it to go down the road. But yeah, shall we fire it up? Turn the key to ignition, and then if I do that, hear the clunk, we are now ready to go. The absence of red lights mean it's in gear and we're ready to go down the road. So you can see we're at about 47% battery at the moment, which should be enough for a range of about 25 miles comfortably. But yeah, any more than that is probably pushing it. This is strange because it's also familiar, but also not at all. So we go down into drive, handbrake off, indicate right. There's a bit of a woo, which is the steering. And we're ready to pull away as soon as traffic allows, which it doesn't at the moment. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it gets up to 30 miles an hour very nicely, and isn't she smooth? Wow. I must concede, this is a lot better than I think I probably expected. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a bit rough, noisy, and perhaps not very pleasant. But actually, it feels magnificent. I should go left here. Reminded just how good, even in van mode, Berlingo suspension is. My gosh, it rides well. And that helps with the overall feeling of refinement that you get with an electric car, but you definitely don't get with a 2-litre HDI turbo diesel engine. They can be, they're a good diesel engine, but smooth and quiet, they are absolutely not. This is magnificent. And you can put the heater on, that's fine. That's not going to touch your range at all. And I'm told that the nickel cadmium batteries don't suffer from temperature as much as lithium ion, so there are advantages. There are issues they do need managing. You've got to manage those levels, and you've also got to watch with usage. If you don't charge up to 100% and you do that quite frequently, the battery can literally forget it has more capacity, and you have to do some sort of deep discharge cycle to try and remind it how much capacity it actually has. It's not as easy as a modern day electric vehicle, but La Poste, the French post service, made good use of them and even got an aftermarket company to convert them after Citroën stopped making them in 2005. But I have to remember the energy and the speedometer, I got the same numbers on, so I've got to make sure I'm looking at the correct one. And another issue, we've got quite strong regen, but it won't illuminate the brake lights when it's in regen, so I'll be slowing down fairly briskly without any warning to the vehicles behind. But let's just really push her. Yeah, that was 50 miles an hour. But if we keep the speed down a little lower, it will literally help us go further. But yeah, I'm astonished at how well this drives, in all honesty, and it really does highlight what a great package the Berlingo was. The 106 Electrique came along in 1995. It uses the same running gear effectively, it's just that this has more batteries for more voltage, and so has a bit more range, and obviously combats the fact it weighs a bit more. I believe there was a Saxo Electrique as well, and I think there were a few C15 Electriques built as well, with much older technology. But yeah, Ni-Cad batteries were a thing briefly, but the big problem with them is cadmium is a toxic heavy metal, so disposing of the batteries is, yeah, it's a bit of an undertaking. It's not to be sniffed at. I'm going to turn the heater off. Don't want the heater, I just want some ventilation to the face, please, on this rather warm day. But yeah, this is extremely jolly. So as we come into a 40, I will ease off. There's the regen. but just keeping an eye on my mirrors because the car behind has no visual clue that I'm slowing down. That is a bit of an oversight. And we're going to go through Hawley here on my left. So this has only done 36,000 miles. But he does own one that's done over 60,000 miles, so they really can take some use. But problem is, spares quite difficult to get sometimes, so yeah, it can be a bit of an issue getting bits and keeping them going. But yeah, I'm really liking this. This is great. So there's the regen as we ease off. Watch the gauge in the middle. That's good if we want to be there, but I'm going to go and get it in the red. Going to do an acceleration test. It's a 40-mile-an-hour road, so we can't go too mad, but $35, $40. So yeah, she's steady, but I mean, that's probably on a par with a normal car. It's just smooth and seamless. So it has got a light that will come on and tell me if my fuel level is getting too low in my heater tank. So every now and then you do still have to go to a petrol station and put petrol in your electric car. But for the time, given the limitations of range and how heater technology wasn't very good, I think it's a fine solution. But this feels so tight compared to my own Berlingo. The steering is absolutely lovely. It seems to have a little bit more weight to it, but I don't mind that at all. So the motor's only rated at 38 brake horsepower, but it's something like 170 newton meters of torque, which is probably about equivalent with a diesel. So when you put your foot down, it is building speed up. It's just not in a throw you back in your seat manner, because to do so would be very wasteful of the range. So it's very smooth instead, but this is just lovely. Wow. I'll just do a wiper test just to remind us that the Berlingo has a massive triangle of doom here, which can lead to dribbles of disappointment. I think the wiper blades are a little tired on this example, but yeah, I'm astonished. This is really good. Obviously no rapid charging here in the UK, because the charging is unique to these vehicles, so you need the right cable to be able to plug into a wall. But yeah, for popping around locally, this would be absolutely ideal. There we go. I've been waiting a long time to tick that box off. I know I shouldn't necessarily get excited about driving such an antiquated electric vehicle really, but even though I drove a Hyundai Ioniq 5 earlier today, which I finished filming in this very car park, that has blown me away. Obviously, I think the Ioniq 5 shows just how far we've come. I mean, even on an 80% charge this morning, that had a range of 234 miles. Mileage this can only dream of. But it was cars and vans like this that really showed us the way and showed us what was possible. And I'm thoroughly impressed with the engineering in that. That drives really, really nicely. You can just jump in and go. And a lot of early electric cars aren't necessarily so. So huge thanks to Will for letting me drive this absolute beauty. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a future video. Farewell. Oh, it doesn't say electrique on this side. Electrique. Sorry, I'm not going to waste power by putting my headlights on.